Welcome to Beyond the Matrix with Rod Bryant and Jerry Gordon, here on Israel News Talk Radio. Unplug, strap yourself in, because you are about to move beyond the Matrix.
We have an exciting show lined up for you today. We're going to be speaking to two very interesting young women who actually just graduated from high school, and they're getting ready to leave July. What did you say the date was? 30th?
30th.
Yeah. The end of July, they're going to go move to Israel to join the IDF. And we actually wanted to get these two young women on because personally, a lot of people in the United States probably doesn't even know anybody that's done this program. And this is a great opportunity for us to introduce the program, maybe encourage some other young people to go join the IDF from America. Jerry, why don't you introduce these two young women to us?
Okay, there are two young women who just graduated high school here in Northwest Florida. One lives in Gulf Breeze, Florida. Her name is Ileana Mccully, and the other is a member of my synagogue here in Pensacola who lives in Milton, Florida. Her name is Maytal Baurberg. And they are extraordinary, articulate, compassionate about their commitment to Israel, and they'll explain why they have entered into the so-called lone soldier program.
One of the things that we're going to ask these young women is, what about their what they call their love for Israel, love for the land, love for the people? And when we had a conversation with them, Jerry, it was so inspiring to hear these young women, like you said, articulate in such clarity about their love for Israel and their desire to protect the people of Israel and protect the land. It's going to be a very inspiring show. So guys, don't go away. We'll be right back after these messages, but encourage you, send us an email if you would like to add some kind of information that could be helpful to us. Jerry at IsraelNewsTalkRadio.com or Rod at IsraelNewsTalkRadio.com. Would love to hear from you. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you take time to subscribe and hit notification button. So every time we post a show up, you will be able to watch it on YouTube. You can go watch it at Nativ, N-E-T-I-V, online, one word, Nativ online, and you will be able to find the playlist of Beyond the Matrix. We'll be right back after these messages.
Great.
Okay, beautiful.
By the way, here comes the rain.
Oh, it's reached there.
Yeah, Donder and Blitzen has broken out here.
Wow, I tell you, man, earlier this morning, let's see what it's like now. Earlier this morning, we're talking about intense thunderstorms and rain.
Yeah.
It was like pouring hard. It's died down, but I'm still looking at the radar. Let me update the radar real quick.
Okay.
Refresh it.
Now, did you capture the Zoom video this time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Everything's captured. Matter of fact, I need to turn it off now. So. Putting to record.
And by the way, we're pleased to have you both available to do this.
Very, very pleased. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to do this.
Yeah, of course.
And if you hear some loud noise coming from the other side of this wall, it's because I have 3 grandchildren below the age of 4 in my house. So
that's fun.
If they come beating on the wall with something obnoxious, you'll know what it is. Okay, so here we go. In 3, 2, and 1.
Welcome back to Beyond the Matrix, here on Israel News Talk Radio.
I'm Rod Bryant, and we're with Jerry Gordon and myself. We are here, Beyond the Matrix, with 2 very special guests that we talked to earlier, or told you guys about earlier. They're actually going to be going on the Lone Soldier program into the IDF. We're so proud of these girls. ladies, these women, these young women, that we wanted to bring them on the show because there's a lot of young people in the United States that do this each year. And not a lot of people know about the program. And so this is a great opportunity for us to talk about it and to sort of shed some light in us. So we've got Maytal and we've got Eliana with us today. We're so happy you guys are with us. We really appreciate you guys taking time. Right off the bat, let me just ask the question. What is the IDF Lone Soldier Program? What is it about?
So the IDF Lone Soldier Program, basically it's for Jewish people or maybe non-Jewish people who want to serve in the IDF. Like, you don't even have to be from the United States. Like, it's not limited to just people in the United States. There are people all over the world who can do it, and there are different ways you can join through. There's a program called Maytal and Garin Sabar. Eliana and I were joining the program through Garin Sabar.
Now, Eliana, when you found out about the program, did it seem a bit overwhelming for you?
Well, when I first found out about it, it was through my friends who had gone on to join. So my first reaction was, that's really cool. So it was getting into it. It got a little bit overwhelming because it was me, but seeing my friends do it was like admirable. So.
Okay, so you actually know people that's done this.
Yes.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, that's good to hear. Jerry, you have something you want to ask?
Yeah. Maytal, are U.S. citizens allowed to serve in the Lone Soldier Program?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, through the program that we're going through, you actually have to make Aliyah to Israel. So not only are you just serving, you also are immigrating. Aliyah is another word for immigrating to Israel.
Now, Eliana, do you plan on immigrating as well?
I do. Yes.
Awesome. I'm so proud of you guys. We have, when you know someone that's actually moved over, went to yeshiva or an IDF, it's like a part of you is over there. And that's why we're so proud of you guys. You both went through different regional programs to get into this. What was your experiences like? We'll start, I guess, Maytal first. What was your experience about the paperwork, the process to get in?
Well, to apply, first you have to go onto the Green Sabar website and you have to contact first of all, there are different preparation seminars that you have to go through. There's 4 of them, and each seminar prepares you and just informs you about what you're getting yourself into. And so there's like student Garunim, like college Garunim, and religious Garunim. I'm in the religious Garunim, and it's called Garin Dati. And so basically I contacted her, and she sent me an email and with a link to upload my paperwork. And with that, I also had to go through an additional interview. And throughout the process, you have to submit a lot of paperwork. You have to submit your birth certificate, your passport pictures. You have to get apostilles. It's pretty extensive, and a lot of it builds up over time, and it's a little stressful, but it's manageable.
Now, I would assume you guys had to get some kind of physical or something to make sure that you were fit for it. Is that right or no?
I didn't have to, but I know that once you're in Israel, they do test you physically.
Okay. Yeah. Once you get in, they'll test you, and hopefully that will lead to you having full-time service. Now, I have to ask you this, Eliana. Did you ever consider maybe going into the military before, period, like the United States Army or Navy, Air Force? Or is this like something? Okay, so you were thinking, okay, makes sense.
Yes, I was in the ROTC program in my high school, and that really put me on the path of military career-wise. However, Israel was definitely the goal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Maytal, were you in ROTC as well?
No, I was not.
Okay, so you're just going straight in, full force. Okay, I have a lot of respect for you. Jerry, go ahead.
Okay, what prompted you to consider entering this program after graduation from high school here in the U.S.? Let's go in sequence. Ileana, you first, and then Maytal.
Well, Gurin Tabar or Lone Soldier?
Into the Gurin Sabah.
Well, Gurin Tabar was, for me, it started in February, so before I graduated. And I just want to say the point of Gurin Tabar is so you have like a base, like friends and family, so you're not really going over there alone. And what prompted me, like I said before, was I had friends who joined who said that they really liked it. They made friends for life, you know. And so I did do my research for Maytal and the difference between Gurin Tabar, and I settled on Gurin Tabar. Yeah.
Maytal?
So, I have Israeli citizenship through my father. He was born in Israel in Netanya, and so he obviously served. And so, as an Israeli citizen, you're required to join the IDF at the age of 18. And so here in the United States, I obviously had an option whether to join or not. And I thought about it, and at first I wasn't sure of joining because, you know, I thought about college and I wanted to make sure I looked at all of my options first. And so I did apply to go to college, and I got into some of the schools that I wanted to go to. But I was just contemplating, is this right for me? Because, like, you know, joining the IDF is a once in a lifetime experience. And plus, I feel like it's my responsibility to serve because I love the country, and I want to protect those who I love and my family in Israel.
Maytal, I have a question for you. Did you get a degree?
Yes, I have my high school diploma.
Okay, so when you went to college, you didn't finish out your college. You decided, let's go to IDF, correct?
No, I just I'm a high school senior.
Okay, now I get it.
Yes.
I'm putting more years on you than probably should be. I'm sorry. Yes, Jerry, go ahead. You had something else you want to follow up on.
Eliana, you had an experience that actually one of my granddaughters did as well, and that was going to Israel at a point in your teen years through a program that was sponsored by the National Federation of Temple Youth and related organizations. But explain to this audience the segment, what the program was like, but more importantly, the segment and training that you went through that really was a spark to your decision.
Okay, so I went on a program first semester of high school in 2017. I was 15 years old. It was 4 months long, and we had field trips. We had our normal classes. We even took Hebrew class for an hour and Jewish history for 3 hours a day. We had 11-hour school days, and I loved all of it. That sounds crazy, but I loved all of it. And the week that you're talking about is called Gadna, and it's kind of like a training week, but for students to get a taste of what the IDF is like. As soon as we got off the bus to get there at the base, they were yelling at us in Hebrew. And at this time, my Hebrew was not good at all. So we were very scared. And, you know, we lined up, they gave us our bags, our sleeping bags, water bottles, and we marched to our tents. We set up our tents, and then every morning we got up into formation. We marched around, we did different activities, we crawled in the mud, we learned how to, you know, we poured water in the sand and put it on our arms and face to disguise ourselves. It was really, really cool, and that for me was, I thrived in that pressured environment. I really did. So that's what led me to here.
Did you have any experience with weapons training during this gig?
Yes, they gave us, we had a whole training day for M16s, and they took us to the range. And yeah, that was.
I'm sure, Eliana, that the bug bit you very hard after shooting the weapons, right?
Yes, it really did.
Yeah, that's some exciting stuff. It's we're getting ready to go into a break, and when we do come back, I do want to ask a couple of sort of impromptu questions, just to hear your heart and spirit about your love for Israel and why you were motivated to do this. I know that Maytal said a little bit, that she wanted to protect her country and her people, which is very important. But I would like to have it heard by our audience, largely not Israeli. Our audience is English speakers from all over the world, to actually get to hear the love in your heart for the land of Israel coming from two high school students who have such promising futures, and they decided to do this. What a great testimony. So don't go away, guys. We're going to be right back. For you guys watching on YouTube, thank you for taking time. Make sure that you subscribe right there on the subscribe button, and we'll be back right after these messages. Okay, stand by.
So can we talk during the intermission?
Absolutely.
So, Maytal, did you have a comparable experience to that of Ileana, or was it something else that basically was a pull beside the fact that your father was an Israeli citizen?
Well, I mean, when I would go visit my family, I mean, like I visited as a tourist, but I mean, it's obviously not the same as like being a civilian. But, I admired the soldiers greatly. Like, they looked so powerful and amazing, and I wanted to be a soldier.
All right. Well, keep that thought in mind, because we want to get that on.
Right, we're going to ask that.
Yes, absolutely. And Eliana, did you have a similar experience after you went through Ganda training?
Yes, definitely. I admire all like soldiers, and definitely America and Israel. I just think it's it's a very big thing to do, and you don't put yourself first. And I really respect putting the people first.
That is something that it's a very important virtue that we want to bring out and talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jerry and I both are veterans. I have sons that are in the military currently. And that's a great legacy to pass on, and hopefully maybe your children and grandchildren will serve in the for the country. So give me just a second. We're just about ready. So. Okay, just about a minute left.
Eliana, one thing. Stay. Yeah. You're moving in your chair.
I know. Sorry.
All right.
There's always something that we do. Like one day, I think it was Jerry or our guest kept pounding the desk, right? Bam, bam, and the mic was like. That's all you could hear. I had to finally say, don't slam the desk. Okay, so we're just about ready to queue up. Okay, here we go in 3, 2, and 1.
Welcome back to Beyond the Matrix, here on Israel News Talk Radio.
We're back from the break. I'm Rod Bryant, along with Jerry Gordon, my sidekick, co-host, and the great producer, Jerry, the G-Man Gordon. And we have two very special guests with us today, Maytal and Eliana. They are both going to enter into the IDF program. Now, I know, Maytal, you're going in July. How about you, Eliana? When are you leaving?
I'm also leaving in July 27th.
Now, I want to revisit a question, and then Jerry has a follow-up from the last segment. I think Maytal, not really sure. I think you said something about, or you, Eliana, said something about family. You already have a base or people, friendships and relationships over there. What is that? What are you talking about? Is that people that's gone ahead of you, or is it people you get introduced to?
Well, I was talking about Green Sabar and how you kind of build your own family before you go over there. So you're not completely alone, hence lone soldier. And they do that so, you have a support system to help you in hard times. However, I do have some family over there already that I met when I was there in 2017 for the first time.
So Maytal is pretty much the same thing. I mean, you have family over there, so going off for the weekend to visit family or have Shabbos dinner, obviously you're going to have local hosts that will have you in, which I find it interesting. We call it the loan program, but the beauty of the thing is you're not alone. You're not alone at all. And Israel is an extended family. That's the beauty of it. It's not like you're in some strange country, strange world. It's your own people, and that's an amazing thing. I would like to ask the question. Let's see, Jared, do you want to go ahead and ask yours first?
No, but basically, why don't we start with what you were talking about during the break? Why are these two lovely women, they're now young women going off to this program, so committed to support Israel? And let's start with Maytal.
Well, this is my standpoint on. This is my promise to Israel. So, as a tourist, obviously, it's much different from being a civilian. You have the privilege of you can spend money, you can spoil yourself. You don't have to worry about actually the living and the living expenses like that. So basically I promised and I said to myself that, since Israel has given me so much, I feel like I'm obligated to give back to the community by serving. And plus, since I have Israeli citizenship, why should I be treated differently, even though I live in the United States? And I feel like it's really important for me to serve.
Eliana?
For me, I'm gonna take it back a few years. So growing up, after every holiday, what do we always say? We say next year in Israel. And as a kid, I think I really took that to heart. And so I did go on that program. And then growing up in Gulf Breeze, Florida, it really is a bubble. And there's not that many Jewish kids my age, and so when I went, I fell in love, and my heart just said, I need to protect this place because this is where I'm welcome. This is home. And I really, really want to protect Israel.
In the experience of living in the United States, especially during this last few years, we've seen the rise of anti-Semitism. And I'm not really sure how much you would have experienced that in Gulf Breeze. It seems that some of the southern cities are a lot more kind and friendly to the Jewish community, have a great relationship. But with all of that being said, there has to be a level of national pride in you to feel like that I'm getting ready to join the hundreds of thousands of people that served the military for 4,000 years. I mean, just think about that. It's mind blowing. So just for a moment, I'm gonna go Eliana, and then we're gonna go Maytal. Give me just if you were talking to a friend or somebody that's a contemporary, and you would tell them, what do you feel? How do you feel? Why would you do this? Like, of all things, why go way over there to serve? And you say, yes, it's because you love Israel, but there has to be some deep feeling about the country and the people. I'd like you to share that if you can.
Well, I, for one, am a history nerd. I love history. And I do know that the Jewish people everywhere, that we have tried to settle. Thousands and thousands of years, we've been kicked out of everywhere. We've even been kicked out of Israel. And I don't even know how to describe the feeling in my heart and my mind. And when I realized this is what I'm doing, this is what I want to do, it felt like it connected. And feeling that connection is one of the most important days of my life, because it all clicked and it all came together. And I tell my friends that it's very hard for them to understand that in Judaism, it doesn't matter if you're from Michigan or if you're from Russia or Mexico or wherever. You're blood. You really are. You have a place to stay for Shabbos or for Shabbat or whatever. Like, you are connected, and that's what I feel.
So in some way, it seems that you're describing this as almost a completion of your spiritual journey as well. It's like there's something very spiritual about serving in the IDF. I would never think that anybody would say, well, I've joined the Air Force in the United States because it's my spiritual journey, right? But here, your soul wakes up. It's like when you got there, and I'm sure, Maytal, when you said that you visited, it's like you feel like, man, my soul has come alive. And now to make that decision to serve, I really think it's like a completion of going home. Maytal, could you take a little moment to explain?
Well, first of all, personally, I've always felt more Israeli than American. I learned Hatikva before the national anthem for the United States. I grew up with Jewish food, with an Israeli father. And so he obviously plays an important part of my life. And before that, before I lived in Pensacola, I lived in Queens, New York, which is obviously a really big Jewish community. So I was surrounded by many, many Jewish people, and I felt at home. And obviously adjusting to life in Pensacola, it was hard. Why am I the only Jewish person? Why are you eating pork? What is that? Back to the question you said, what's it like living in?
No, the question is just describe the emotional attachment and feeling that you have with going to serve in the IDF and be an Israeli citizen.
Okay, right. Well, first of all, it's just I'm so passionate and I love Israel, and I feel like it's my responsibility. I'm obligated, and I want to do everything I can to make sure I attain those goals.
Yeah, one of the things I really appreciate hearing from you guys, and we're very fortunate as a country. I'm talking about Israel. Very fortunate as a country that there is a sense of responsibility from the Jews from all over the world. Now, not every Jew feels this way, but I would say a large number of Jewish people feel like that's actually our home. This is not our home. And we have to do everything we can do to defend it. And in the light of many obstacles, you guys could have chosen to do anything else. I mean, you could have really, the tree was out there to pick whatever fruit you want off of it, and you chose to go into the IDF. And we have tremendous amount of respect for you. We have about 2 minutes left. Jerry, do you want to ask a question?
Yeah, I do. The Pensacola Jewish Federation has a pretty active Shalia emissary program that's basically sponsored by the Jewish Agency, in which the emissary lives in the community, talks about what it's like in Israel, basically interacts with us, talks about Israeli holidays and celebrations, and as Maytal just said earlier, food. It's very essential for being Jewish.
Right.
So, Eliana, do you want to take on that question, and then we'll pass it back to Maytal?
What was the question?
The question was, how important was the Shalia program in terms of understanding Israel?
Okay, so that's big because the first shliach that I remember very clearly, her name was Tal, and she was actually my teacher for a year, and she's the one who taught me Israel geography, Israeli snacks like bamba. Oh my gosh. And she really opened my eyes. And the shliach that we had this past year, her name is Shani. She helped me get in touch with my Green Sabar advisor, Natan. So they definitely play a really big part in our community.
Hey, we got to go to a break, so you guys stick around. And those who are watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and give us a comment. Also on Beyond the Matrix, we really appreciate an email occasionally. It makes us feel good. All of the negative emails, send them to Jerry Gordon at Jerry at IsraelNewsTalkRadio.com. And then you can send all the nice stuff to me, Rod, at IsraelNewsTalkRadio.com. We'll be back right after these messages. Okay, stand by.
Okay, that's great. Maytal, do you want to add anything to that?
No, she covered it. Well, I was just gonna add that they educate us about Israeli experiences and try to promote Jewish social activism and stuff like that.
So when we come back, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's do that.
We didn't talk about the content, which would be really important. So hold on.
Right.
Talk Radio.
We're back from the break. I guess I'm gonna have to go buy the grandchildren what do you call it, a snow cone when we're finished. I haven't heard a peep out of them. Of course, my wife had them sitting at the windowsill watching the pool overflow in a heavy rain. So I guess entertaining them enough.
Very easily amused.
Yeah.
Yes, he's over in Houston, Texas, while I'm here in half sunny Pensacola.
It's heading your way. I don't know if you know that.
We know it is.
Yeah.
Right in here where I live.
It's getting cloudier over here. This has gone pretty well today.
You guys are naturals. You need to go in.
Guys are great. It probably comes from doing this every day. Oh, that's another question. Before we get back, when did the two of you first hook up?
That goes
back
2010, maybe.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
we were young.
When did the temple and the synagogue merge?
Okay, that's very important.
Yeah.
You were both part of the Yachad program,
Mm-hmm.
where there was a joint religious school.
Right.
And were you in the same grade at that time in religious school?
I think so.
Right, yeah, we're in the same grade.
Right. And there were certain instructors who were pretty instrumental. I spoke with one of them yesterday. That was Vicki Goldstein, who was head of the religious school for B'nai Israel. And also Melissa Sontag, who was basically the spare point for trying to get that together. And most importantly, your own mother.
Of course, mom, a Jewish mother.
So I think we ought to dwell on that for a couple of minutes.
We're ready to go into
Tal, you remember the question you're going to respond to?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do that.
Stand by. In 3, 2, and 1.
Welcome back to Beyond the Matrix, here on Israel News Talk Radio.
We're having an interesting conversation with two young women that are going into the IDF from the United States. They're actually dual. Well, I think both of you have your citizenship. No?
No.
I will attain it when I get there.
Okay, so Maytal has hers, you will get yours. So they're both U.S. citizens who are going to serve in the IDF, which is an amazing program. And we're hoping through this show that we will talk to other young people across the globe that will consider joining the IDF. Why? Because it's an adventure. It's a lot of fun. You're going to be able to see family. You will be able to make new friends. That is going to be some exciting time. You will forever remember these few days going into the IDF and your experience. Jerry, why don't you ask the first question?
Well, it's a personal question. When did the two of you actually first meet prior to going into the Guren program?
Well, this goes back quite a few years. I think probably 2010 when both religious communities, she goes to the temple and then I go to the synagogue, when our religious schools combined and we were just one big joint. And so we were in the same class and we were classmates and we learned together. And yeah, that's how we...
Even after that, we kind of had youth group events together.
Right.
So bowling and ice skating. That was really fun.
Okay.
Let me ask something real quick. So are you guys going to be in the same training? Or are you going to be in two different programs?
We are actually in two different Garin groups right now. And when we get over there, we can stay in touch, but I think we'll be going our own paths.
Right. Because Eliana, she's her kibbutz, she'll be living somewhere in the north. What's your kibbutz called again?
Gesher Haziv.
Yes, and I'll be in Kibbutz Alamim, which is actually in the south, in the negative. It's actually 3 kilometers next to Gaza.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's going to be an interesting time to live. In the north, I think that they're considering you, what do you call it, high society because it's so beautiful up north. You're going to...
Right.
I feel sorry for you, Maytal. You're going to be in the desert. I know.
It's beautiful there. They actually showed us pictures. There are many flower fields, and it's really,
well, because
really
they've made
nice.
it. Yeah, they've made it beautiful. Absolutely. There was a question you wanted to ask, and you mentioned in the break, Jerry. What was it?
Well, basically, you're being assigned to adoptive homes in the Gaza area for you, Maytal, and for you, Ileana, in the beautiful Western Galilee. The question I guess I have is, do you have a preference for what branch of service in the IDF?
Well, I was mainly thinking Army or Navy. Navy specifically because if I do go to the Israeli Navy, then I can continue that in America and follow my dad's steps and then take over his company here.
Maytal?
I'm interested in a unit called Chilutz Ve'Hatzala, otherwise known as Search and Rescue.
Oh, cool. So now I'm going to ask you, when you go into the program, I know in the United States, a young person signs up and they take an ASVAB, a test, and they decide what do you call it, what MOS or what job skill that you're going to be going into. How do you choose or get chosen to go into a specific job skill?
Well, there are 3 tests you need to take. You need to take a physical exam, a Hebrew exam, and some other exam. And then
a personality
test. A personality test, right. And so after that, after you take all those tests, you get your Manila, and it's basically a list of positions that are suitable for you. And there are different scores that tell you which units are that you can do.
Okay, I get it. So pretty much the same way as it here. Eliana, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
I just wanted to say that I think one of the differences that I really enjoy between the American military and Israeli military is the personality test, because they really do want a job that fits your personality so you can grow with it and do well and enjoy it.
That is a real brilliant idea. The special operations community does it here because they only want people with a certain personality that could fit in that. And I think it's a brilliant idea. Which would be interesting is you're going to be in a mix of people in which your personality also sort of blends well with. That's a real brilliant idea. Jerry, go ahead.
How do your respective families feel about your taking off? It's not too far distant. You're leaving both on, I guess, July 30th, and to enter into quarantine in your respective adoptive homes. But how do your families get through the emotions of your departure?
Well, my mom, she breaks down every now and then, and all I can do is just hug her, which makes her cry more. But she's very supportive. And my dad, being Catholic, he wants to know as much as possible. And I really respect that. And it makes me very happy. So they're very supportive.
Maytal?
Well, both of my parents are really, really supportive as well. They want the best for me. Well, it's going to be really hard for my parents, obviously, because I'm moving like 2,000 miles away, and they're worried about their little girl being gone for so long. Yes.
That is difficult for parents. And, as much as a commitment that you guys are making, your parents are also committing their children to this cause, which is huge. Now, the beautiful thing for your parents, unlike some other parents that might be sending their children off to a military, is you're going to Israel in which you know that you're going to be nurtured and taken care of by the community. That's a big relief I would think, off of a parent's mind. Jerry, do you have something you wanted to ask?
Yeah. The trek that you're going to take over there, how difficult is that going to be? How difficult is the basic training that you're going to undertake?
I'd assume it's pretty much the same or even harder, depending on the job that we get. So yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, everyone goes through basic training. It's 3 months long, and then after that, you, depending on your unit, you go for more extensive training specifically for that unit. So I'd imagine it's very difficult.
Yeah, there's nothing easy. There's nothing easy about this. And if people think that, they need to recheck themselves. We only have like 3 or 4 minutes. So why don't we go to each one? We'll start with Maytal first. And just give us steps, how you can look the information up, what websites do you go to, et cetera.
Right. So I contacted the Garin Sabar website, and I hit apply, and then I emailed my counselor. You also need to be in contact with Nefesh B'Nefesh, which is also responsible for your Aliyah process, as well as the Jewish agency. And on their websites, it's just like thejewishagency.com or something like that. And then you go to Nefesh B'Nefesh and Garin Sabar.
Excellent. Very good. Eliana, do you have anything you wanted to add about the search of helping someone to find their way?
I think Maytal pretty much covered it.
Okay, good. Look, we're extremely proud of you guys and so happy that you guys came onto the show today. And I know that we want to do some follow-up with you guys later on. So maybe from Israel, after you finish your basic training or something, we'd like to bring you back on to discuss what your experience was like. The reason why that I think it's important is we have to let people know that there is a particular level of pride and even spirituality that is part of joining the people in the land and to protect the land. Jerry, we only have about 45 seconds. Do you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah. Is there going to be a send-off for you two coming up soon?
I mean, I guess.
You hope it
for you, which will occur in the not too distant future. And there's interesting things that will occur during that celebration.
Well, at least they're not going to drive to the bus station, the airport, and kick her out on the curb. So that's nice.
Please no.
On the same flight.
Oh, so that's going to be fantastic. But we're very, very excited, and just put it on the radar, knowing that sometime, if you're not too busy, because you guys are going to be all, what do they call it? High speed, low drag, super soldiers. And you may not want to talk to us old men, but it would be nice if you just remember us sometime after basic training, come back and let's talk about the program and what it was like and where you're going, et cetera, et cetera. Guys, you've been listening to Beyond the Matrix here on Israel News Talk Radio. I'm Rod Bryant, and Jerry Gordon, my co-host, is with us every week. We appreciate you watching us on YouTube and listening to us on Israel News Talk Radio. We'll see you next time. Shalom.
Well, I want to thank you both. You were terrific.
Yes, experts.
Boy, is this an advertisement for the program?
Yes.
Our program? For you as stalwarts who are going through it and have gone through it in terms of the prep to get accepted.
Well, I really appreciate you guys actually taking the time to describe what it was like to go through. And I think that there'll be a lot of young people who go, well, that may be something I can do. And also, once they know you're wanting to get into the system, I'm sure that they're very helpful, telling you what you need to do next and where you need to go. So very, very good.
One more thing to my colleague over in Houston.
Yes, sir.
Correct the spelling of Eliana's last name.
Yeah.
Oh,
EY.
It's MC.
CULL.
No. It's MC capital CULLEY.
EY. I knew that. I was just testing to see if you guys remember that.
I didn't even notice that.
I didn't either.
I did.
So.
All right. By the way, this will air Wednesday.
Yes.
Assuming Rod does a great job with the portion, that will also appear on TEVE Online YouTube channel.
And Jerry, you can send them the link to it so they can share.
Yes, I will.
I really appreciate it.
Very much.
Guys, we'll
Thank you
chat
so
with you.
much.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Hatzlacha.
Hatzlacha.
Toda.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, Jerry, you and I can now.
I thought this was
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's say, just want to say to the YouTubers, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. I know that sometimes watching could be a little boring maybe, but I want you guys to get sort of behind the scenes what we do during the show. And there is a lot of interesting conversation that takes place in the break that doesn't get onto the show. So thank you so much for watching and keeping us informed with your life with your comments. And we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.